Chidibem had always been the quiet one in the family, the type who preferred sketching designs on his old laptop instead of going out with friends. Living in a small home in Enugu, he carried a big dream inside him: to start a digital printing and branding business that would stand out in the whole city. He spent nights researching colors, fonts, packaging styles, and modern branding tricks. He believed his ideas were unique and fresh, something the market hadn't seen yet. And because he trusted Samto like a brother, he shared everything with him. One evening, Chidibem sat with Samto and poured out his heart, excited and innocent. He opened his notebook and showed him the business plan he had created from scratch, how he wanted to help small businesses with professional branding, how he planned to market on social media, and even the price list he'd designed after weeks of research. He showed him logo sketches, color palettes, and the name he wanted to use. His eyes shone with hope, thinking he had someone who believed in him. Samto nodded, pretending to admire everything. He asked questions like he genuinely cared. He said things like, "This idea go blow, my guy," making Chidibem feel supported. But deep down, Samto wasn't listening to help. He was listening to take. Every detail Chidibem shared became fuel for a plan Samto was already forming in his mind. Instead of clapping for his cousin's dream, he was calculating how to turn it into his own shortcut to success. Chidibem didn't know anything was wrong. He felt safe talking to someone he saw as family. He believed that when success comes, they would celebrate together. He trusted with his whole heart, not knowing that sometimes the biggest betrayal doesn't come from strangers, but from the people we think will protect us. In that moment, he didn't see the jealousy building behind Samto's smile, or the silent competition he never agreed to. He just saw a brother, listening. And that trust would soon become the wound that changed everything. 1 week later, Chidibem woke up to the shock of his life. His phone started buzzing non-stop with messages from friends asking if he had finally launched his business. Confused, he opened the links they sent, and his heart dropped. It was Samto. His own cousin had launched the exact same business he shared with him. Same name style, same logo pattern, same packages, same captions. It was like someone copied his mind and posted it online before he even had the chance to start. Samto was everywhere on social media, acting like a genius. He posed in front of a borrowed machine, smiling and announcing his new brand. He proudly told people, "Business is for smart people. Chidibem just talks, I execute." Those words cut deeper than a knife. It wasn't just stealing the idea, it was mocking the dream behind it. Chidibem felt his chest tighten. The person he trusted most had turned his honesty into a weapon. When he confronted the situation gently, hoping maybe it was a misunderstanding, the reaction from the family shocked him even more. Instead of supporting him, they laughed and told him he was overreacting. They said Samto was fast, while Chidibem was too slow and not tough enough for business. His uncle even said, "If you had the idea, why didn't you start? That's how life works." Those words pushed him into silence. Watching Samto receive praise for his stolen idea felt like watching someone run with his future. Samto basked in the attention, acting like he built everything from scratch. He showed off his first few clients, bragged about being a real businessman, and enjoyed every clap, every comment, every compliment that should have belonged to Chidibem. And while everyone celebrated Samto, nobody noticed the quiet storm forming in Chidibem's heart. That he didn't scream or fight. He stood quietly, feeling the weight of betrayal pressing on him. He questioned himself, doubted everything he once believed he was capable of. But inside all that pain, something else started growing, a small, stubborn fire. A fire that whispered, "You will rise, and they will see." In the weeks that followed, humiliation became something Chidibem tasted every single day. Whenever the family gathered, Samto made sure everyone heard about his new business. He walked into rooms with loud confidence, showing screenshots of orders and messages from clients, praising himself like he had built an empire. He would clap his hands and say, "See? Hard work pays. Some people only talk," and then look straight at Chidibem with a smirk that burned. A few relatives joined the teasing. They asked Chidibem jokingly, "So when will your own business start?" Others shook their heads and said he wasn't aggressive enough to survive in Nigeria. Samto, enjoying every second, leaned back and added, "My guy, you can keep dreaming. I've already taken action." The room laughed, and each laugh felt like a slap on Chidibem's chest. Chidabem wanted to defend himself, but the words never came out. He knew anything he said would sound like jealousy, so he stayed quiet. He simply sat there, pretending the jokes didn't hurt, even though his heart felt heavy. Every moment reminded him of how deeply he had been betrayed by someone he treated as a brother. It wasn't just about losing an idea, it was the shame of being mocked with your own dream. But in that silence, something unexpected started taking shape. While everyone thought he was broken, he was actually thinking harder, deeper. He watched Samto closely and realized something important. Samto only copied what he saw. He didn't understand creativity, he didn't understand growth, and he definitely didn't understand long-term vision. He could copy a plan, but not a mind. That realization changed everything inside Chidabem. Instead of crying over the stolen idea, he began imagining something bigger, something more advanced, something polished, unique, and unrepeatable. He promised himself that the next thing he created would be so original and high quality that no one, not even Samto, could imitate it. And one night, as he lay wide awake staring at his ceiling, a quiet determination settled in his heart. They thought their insults would break him, but they were unknowingly sharpening him. The humiliation that was meant to crush him became the fuel that pushed him toward a future none of them were ready for. After the humiliation, Chidabem decided he would not stay the same. Every night after work, he sat with his small phone and watched YouTube videos on design, branding, and modern packaging. He followed creators from different countries, studying how they layered colors, shaped boxes, and created premium looks that made products feel expensive. He took online courses, paused videos, rewound them, practiced step by step, and slowly began mastering what he once only dreamed about. His room became his classroom, and the glow of his screen became the light guiding him out of his pain. During the day, he took small jobs, cleaning, fixing laptops, even doing odd delivery work, anything that could earn him a little extra money. He didn't complain, he saved every naira with quiet discipline. His goal was simple: buy a printing machine, no matter how old or small. After months of saving, he finally found a second-hand machine being sold by a man who was relocating. It wasn't perfect, but when Chidabem touched it, he felt hope again. He carried it home with a smile no one had seen on his face in months. Instead of trying to compete with Samto's basic printing business, he decided to change the game entirely. He realized that regular printing was everywhere, but high-quality custom packaging was rare. He wanted his work to look like something that could sit on shelves in big malls. He started redesigning boxes, stickers, labels, and branded bags with a fresh, classy style. His small room became filled with samples, sleek boxes, creative layouts, and bold colors that looked nothing like Samto's copied ideas. When the vision became clear in his mind, he knew he needed a strong name, something that represented his growth, his creativity, and his new direction. After days of thinking, he created a name that felt personal and powerful: Dubaycraft Innovations. It was simple, modern, and unique, just like the brand he planned to build. With every design he created, he felt a new strength rising inside him. He no longer cared about the betrayal. He no longer wanted to compete with Samto. He wanted to become the person he always knew he could be. Reinvention became his quiet revenge, and Dubaycraft Innovations became the beginning of a story no one expected. That Chidabem's breakthrough came quietly, but it changed everything. One afternoon, a small local bakery messaged him after seeing one of his sample designs online. They wanted 200 custom cake boxes for an upcoming event. It was his first real order, and even though he was nervous, he promised to deliver his best work. For days he worked from his small room, cutting, printing, folding, and perfecting each box by hand. He checked every edge, every color, every detail because he knew this was his chance to prove what he could do. When he delivered the boxes, the bakery owner was shocked. She expected something simple, but what she received looked premium, neat and polished. The colors popped, the material felt strong, and the design looked like something from a high-end store. She immediately took photos and posted them on her business page, praising Dubaycraft Innovations for giving her brand a professional look. Her customers loved it, and many asked where the boxes came from. Those pictures spread faster than he imagined. Within a week, people started tagging him on Instagram and recommending him in business groups. Small business owners, event planners, and vendors began entering his DM, asking for packaging, stickers, labels, and gift boxes. His phone that once stayed silent now vibrated all day with new messages. Every order pushed him to work harder, and with each delivery, his confidence grew. Soon, the difference between Dubaycraft and Samto's business became obvious to everyone. While Samto offered basic, rushed printing, Chidabem was delivering clean, creative, well-crafted packaging that made products look richer and more attractive. People began saying, "If you want quality, try Dubaycraft." His name slowly became a small brand, and his design stood out in every picture they appeared in. Clients started posting unboxing videos showing his packaging. Influencers shared them, vendors reposted them, and his following began rising. What started as one bakery order turned into a wave of steady business. Almost every day, there were new requests waiting for him. For the first time, he felt the reward of all the long nights and quiet sacrifices. Dubaycraft Innovations was no longer just an idea in his notebook. It was becoming a name people trusted. And without making noise, without bragging, without copying anyone, Chidabem was slowly taking his place in the market, one beautiful box at a time. Orders kept growing until Chidabem realized he needed to do more than just boxes. People loved his creativity, so he expanded his services. He started designing branded paper bags, luxury stickers, high-quality labels, and premium event boxes that looked elegant and professional. His small room turned into a mini workshop filled with colors, cardboard sheets, and machines humming from morning till night. Every new design he made attracted more customers because his work didn't just look good, it made their products feel special. Local vendors began choosing him over bigger companies because he delivered on time and his quality was consistently impressive. Event planners loved his premium gift boxes that made their parties stand out. Online stores preferred his branded packaging because it made their photos look cleaner and more appealing. Soon people started saying, "Dubaycraft has the best packaging in town." His work began to speak louder than any advertisement ever could. Then came the moment that changed everything. A popular influencer ordered packaging for her new skincare line. When she received her items, she recorded an unboxing video showing the neat edges, the rich colors, and the unique design. She told her followers, "If you want classy packaging, this is the guy." The video went viral within hours. Thousands of people watched it, liked it, and shared it. Overnight, Chidabem's page blew up with new followers and endless messages from people wanting the same touch of quality. From that day, his business shifted from small orders to bigger deals. Companies reached out, event planners begged for slots, and even restaurants wanted custom bags. His phone became so busy that he had to start writing down orders to keep track. The demand became more than one man could handle. By the end of the year, he had saved enough to open a proper workshop. He rented a bright space, bought stronger machines, and hired 2 assistants to help manage production. Watching his staff work beside him made him realize how far he had come from that tiny room and painful beginning. Dubaycraft Innovations was no longer a dream or a side hustle. It was a real brand, respected and admired. And the best part was that he built all of it quietly, without shouting, without competition, and without copying anyone. He grew by being better, not louder. While Dubaycraft continued rising, Samto's business began falling apart piece by piece. At first, he tried to hide it. He still posted photos online, still bragged like everything was fine, but behind the scenes, the problems were piling up. His work lacked creativity, and customers noticed. The print colors were dull, the cuts were crooked, and his deliveries were always late. People started complaining, and the complaints turned into warnings. Soon, angry customers began leaving bad reviews, calling his brand cheap, unreliable, and full of excuses. The more customers he lost, the more desperate he became. His income dropped so fast that he struggled to maintain the little equipment he had. His machines broke down one after another, and he didn't have money to repair them. Orders stopped coming in, messages stopped buzzing his phone, and the attention he once enjoyed disappeared. The same family members who once praised him for being fast now avoided discussing his business. Samto tried to keep up by copying whatever he saw trending on social media. When he noticed Dubaycraft's designs becoming popular, he attempted to imitate them too. He bought cheap materials and tried to recreate Chidabem's premium packaging. But every time he finished a product, it looked nothing like the original. The colors smudged, the boxes bent, the the prince peeled off. Customers who compared both brands immediately chose Dubaycraft and never came back to him. The gap between the two cousins widened so much that even outsiders noticed. Vendors who once used Samto switched to Chidabem without hesitation. Event planners whispered among themselves that Samto's brand had fallen off. Even Samto's friends stopped recommending him, because they didn't want to risk embarrassment. With every lost customer, he remembered the words he once threw at Chidabem. I execute. Now he couldn't even deliver. The pressure became unbearable. The more he tried to copy, the more he failed. It finally hit him that stealing an idea was easy, but maintaining a vision required real talent and consistency. And those were things he never developed. His downfall wasn't sudden. It was a slow collapse built on shortcuts, pride, and the belief that he could win without hard work. For the first time he realized the truth. He had destroyed his own chances. The moment he betrayed the person who trusted him most. Samto held out for as long as he could, but when his last few clients started threatening to leave, he knew he had no choice. His materials were finished, his machines were broken, and his name was already losing value. Desperation pushed him to do the one thing he never imagined. Reach out to the cousin he once mocked. One evening, after staring at his empty workspace, he picked up his phone and sent a message to Chidabem, asking if he could come over to talk. His hands shook as he typed, knowing how much pride he was swallowing. When he walked into Dubaycraft's workshop the next day, his mouth fell open. The place was nothing like the small room he remembered. It was bright, organized, and filled with new machines humming smoothly. Staff members were working confidently, greeting Chidabem with respect and admiration. Finished products were stacked neatly. Premium bags, elegant boxes, polished labels. Everything looked professional and expensive. It was clear that Chidabem had built something solid, something real, something Samto could never imitate. For a moment, jealousy tried to rise in him, but reality pushed it back down. He was standing inside the success he wanted but never earned. When Chidabem noticed him at the door, he didn't frown or show pride. He simply walked over politely and asked, "How can I help you?" That kindness made the shame even heavier. Samto took a deep breath, his voice unsteady as he said, "Cousin, I need your help. My clients still want packaging, but I can't produce anything now. Can I buy from you? I'll pay full price." The words tasted bitter, but it was the truth. He couldn't survive without help anymore. Chidabem looked at him for a long moment, remembering the betrayal, the jokes, the humiliation. He remembered the pain of watching his own idea stolen. But he also remembered his journey. The nights of studying, the struggles, the growth. Revenge felt small compared to what he had achieved. So he simply nodded and said, "It's fine. I can supply you." There was no anger in his voice, only maturity. He chose peace over pride, not because he forgot what happened, but because he had outgrown it. Samto thought he would only buy from Dubaycraft once, just to survive a difficult week. But when his clients saw the quality of the new packaging, they insisted he keep using it. They didn't care who produced it. They just wanted the best. And the best was coming from the cousin he once mocked. Slowly, without planning it, Samto became one of Dubaycraft's regular customers. Every month, he placed new orders, paid full price, and waited in line like everyone else. There were no discounts, no special treatment. He stood with other buyers, watching staff pack the products with the professionalism he never had. Each time he transferred money to Dubaycraft, the irony hit him. The idea he once stole now had to be bought, improved, upgraded, and perfected by the very person he underestimated. It felt like life was teaching him a lesson in the softest but sharpest way. And deep down he knew he deserved every bit of it. The family soon noticed the shift. They saw how customers praised Dubaycraft online, how influencers tagged the brand, how business owners recommended it in groups. They saw Chidabem drive to events with confidence, deliver packages with pride, and gain respect from people who once overlooked him. At gatherings, the same relatives who once called him too slow now bragged about his success. They said things like, "Chidabem has always been focused," pretending they never laughed at him. Meanwhile, Samto sat quietly at those gatherings, avoiding eye contact whenever someone mentioned Dubaycraft. He knew everyone had figured out what happened. The comparisons were silent but powerful. People greeted Chidabem warmly, asked for his business card, praised his work, and admired his journey. It was clear who the real creator was. One afternoon, after picking up another batch of packaging, Samto hesitated before leaving. He turned to Chidabem, guilt heavy in his eyes, and whispered, "You really built something great." Chidabem didn't respond with pride or anger. He simply looked at his cousin and said calmly, "Ideas can be stolen, but vision cannot." Those words settled in the room like truth finally taking its place. It wasn't said to shame him. It was said as a reminder. A reminder that shortcuts fade, but true growth lasts. And as Samto walked out with Dubai craft boxes in his hands, he knew he wasn't just carrying products. He was carrying the lesson of his life. The factory was warm with the steady sound of machines working. Machines Chidabem once dreamed of owning when he was just a boy with a sketchbook. Now they filled an entire space, humming confidently as his staff moved around with smiles, packing orders, checking designs, and arranging deliveries. Sunlight poured through the large windows, bouncing off the fresh stacks of branded boxes, bags, and labels lined neatly on shelves. Everything in the room reflected growth, patience, and quiet victory. Chidabem stood in the middle of the workshop, watching his team work with pride. He remembered the nights he studied with a dim phone light, the days he struggled to save money, the humiliation he endured, and the strength he gathered from it. This moment felt like a full circle, proof that no matter how painful the beginning was, the story could still end beautifully. At the entrance, Samto walked in slowly, carrying the same humility he now wore like a shadow. He greeted the staff and waited in line with the other customers, no longer pretending to be above anyone. When his order was ready, he lifted the neatly sealed Dubai craft packages into his car. The same cousin who once mocked him now depended on the quality he could never create himself. There was no tension, no bitterness, just reality settling into its rightful place. As Samto closed his car trunk, he glanced back at the workshop, realizing how far things had shifted. Chidabem didn't approach him or look for an apology. He simply continued overseeing his team, calm and focused, like a man who had built his peace with his own hands. And in that moment, even Samto understood that this wasn't just business. This was destiny. If this were a film, a soft voiceover would rise as the camera pulled back, showing the full workshop, the staff working, the machines running, and Chidabem standing at the heart of it all. He stole my idea, but he couldn't steal my growth. The screen would fade slightly, focusing on Chidabem's quiet confidence before the final words appeared like a powerful truth written across the journey of his life. They can copy your start, but they can't copy your destiny.